Welcome. Today we will begin learning our Hanukkah sugyot. In this first sugya, the Gemara will raise a she'elah whether certain wicks and fuels that are not permitted for Neirot Shabbat may nevertheless be used for Neirot Hanukkah. We will learn three opinions of the Amoraim regarding this she'elah. We will also see that when it comes to wicks and fuels, the Amoraim distinguish between the Neirot Hanukkah that we light during the week and the Neirot Hanukkah that we light on Erev Shabbat. So, let's begin by learning three things that we need to know in order to properly understand this sugya. First, we will discuss one aspect of the very important mitzvah that we have to light Neirot Shabbat. In the beginning of the second parak of Masechta Shabbos, the Mishnah asks, Bameh madlikin uvama ein madlikin. With what may we light Neirot Shabbat, and with what may we not light Neirot Shabbat? The Mishnah then lists different types of wicks that we may not use, because these wicks do not draw the fuel well. Then, the Mishnah lists the different types of fuels that we may not use to light Neirot Shabbat, because these fuels are not easily absorbed. Going forward, we'll just refer to this group as the bad wicks and fuels. The second thing we need to learn is an important machloket. There is a machloket if our Hanukkah lights go out, whether we are obligated to relight them. Kavta zakuk la means that if they go out, we are indeed obligated to relight them. Kavta ein zakuk la means that if they go out, we are not obligated to relight them. This machloket will determine whether the bad wicks and fuels that we cannot use to light Neirot Shabbat may nevertheless be used to light Neirot Hanukkah during a regular weeknight. If we hold kavta zakuk la, that if the Neirot Hanukkah go out, we are chayavim to relight them, then we may not use the bad wicks and fuels to light Neirot Hanukkah. Why is this? Well, Rashi explains that we are afraid the lights will go out and we may neglect to relight them. However, if we hold kavta ein zakuk la, that if our Neirot Hanukkah go out, we are not obligated to relight them, we may use the bad wicks and fuels to light Neirot Hanukkah. Why? Because even if they go out, we are not obligated to relight. We have already fulfilled a mitzvah, so we have nothing to worry about. So again, if we say kavta zakuk la, if the lights go out, we are obligated to relight, we may not use the bad wicks and fuels, since we are afraid that we might forget to relight. However, if we say kavta ein zakuk la, if the Hanukkah lights go out, we are not obligated to relight, then we may use the bad wicks and fuels. Why? Because even if they go out, we have no obligation to relight. Now our final point for this year is another machloket. This concerns whether during the week we are permitted to use or derive benefit from Neirot Hanukkah, such as using the light of the menorah to read. There are those who say that it is mutar lishtamesh l'ora, meaning that we are allowed to use the light of Neirot Hanukkah. And there are those who hold asur lishtamesh l'ora, meaning we are not allowed to benefit from Neirot Hanukkah. This machloket about whether we are ever allowed to benefit from Neirot Hanukkah affects whether we can use the bad wicks and fuels when lighting Neirot Hanukkah on Erev Shabbat, even if we say that you're allowed to use the bad wicks and fuels during the rest of the week to light Neirot Hanukkah. If we hold mutar lishtamesh l'ora, that we are permitted to benefit from Neirot Hanukkah, then we may not use the bad wicks when lighting Neirot Hanukkah on Erev Shabbat. Why is this? We are afraid that the habits we develop during the week might affect how we conduct ourselves on Shabbat. We are afraid that since we are allowed to use the light of the Neirot Hanukkah during the week, someone might adjust the Chanukiah on Shabbat out of habit in order to improve the light. This is kind of like when people flip on the light on Shabbat by accident. However, if we hold asur lishtamesh l'ora, that we are prohibited from ever using Neirot Hanukkah, then we are not prohibited from using the bad wicks when lighting Neirot Hanukkah on Erev Shabbat. Why? since even if they begin to go out, we are not concerned that someone will adjust the light out of habit. So again, if we hold mutar l'hishtamesh l'ora, that we can use the light generated by Nerot Hanukkah during the week, we may not light the bad wicks and fuels on Erev Shabbat, because we are afraid someone might adjust the fire on Shabbat out of habit. However, if we hold asur l'hishtamesh l'ora, then we are permitted to light the bad wicks and oils on Erev Shabbat Chanukah, since we are not concerned that someone may adjust the light out of habit. So, let's review. The Mishnah in Masechta Shabbos teaches us certain wick cannot be used for Nerot Shabbat because they do not draw well, and certain fuels may not be used because they are not easily absorbed. We cannot use bad wicks and fuels to light Nerot Chanukah if we say Kavta Zakukla. If the lights go out, we must relight, because we are afraid that someone might forget to relight. However, we can use the bad wicks and fuels for Nerot Chanukah if we hold Kavta Ein Zakukla. We don't have to relight if the Nerot Chanukah go out. When it comes to lighting Nerot Chanukah on Erev Shabbat, we can light the bad wicks and fuels if we are not normally allowed to benefit from the Nerot Chanukah, since we are not in the habit of adjusting them. However, we can use the bad wicks and fuels for Nerot Chanukah if we are not normally allowed to benefit from them, since we are not in the habit of adjusting them. It was a pleasure learning with you. Let's do it again soon.